Welcome back to the channel, Adventures Through Climate Change with your host, this guy that ever talking and moving of the hands for no reason, person, Trevor. And yeah, you know, I have my bachelor's in biology and health science, so I'm pretty much an expert in climate change. I'm a realtor right now, so that helps. But with that being said, I do take an interest, and I haven't made a lot of these videos in like 3-4 months. I just started making them a couple days ago again. I just want to get a community together where we talk about climate change. You could tell me I'm wrong, and you could tell me I'm right. I really don't care. I want to figure out what the heck is going on, because in my premise, we're using it to make too much money, and it's all propaganda. Most of science is propaganda, and I'm not the scientist that said that. Let's take a look at that's obviously Elon Musk, but I think I'm on Zuby, and we'll give him I'm already subscribed. We'll give him a like. This was 11 days ago, and this is basically just Elon Musk take, right? Let's see what he says.
There are 8 billion people on Earth, and it would be better if there were none.
What?
That's dark.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
really
like,
dark.
hey, buddy, you can start with yourself, you know?
See
if you really want
to
make a difference. How about, take your own advice here. But that's like a crazy viewpoint, you know? That's like literally saying, let's genocide humanity. I'm like, what? How can you say that with a straight face? That's like...
Okay, I don't know if they're going to explain, but I think it was a guy from the New York Times or Post or something, and he wrote an article about how there's just he literally said he's an extinctionist, so he believes that the Earth would be a lot better without humans. And my thing is, Earth's going to do what Earth's going to do no matter what. So what does it matter? Or how do you know it's going to be better without us? What are you talking about? And he's saying, hey, why don't you just start with yourself? That's the context. Let's get into it.
Sounds like total madness. But people, like I said, in the limit of environmentalism, it sort of becomes like an ingrown toenail. You know, it's sort of like, yeah, toenail's fine, but not if it's like warped and ingrown. It's just gone too far. Humanity is not a blight on the face of the Earth. And frankly, even with climate change, life on Earth will still continue. The calamities that Earth has suffered where life continued afterwards, like gigantic meteorite impacts, super volcanoes,
the flood,
the continents drifting all over the place. There have been times in Earth's past where it's been like a total snowball, or it's been absolutely sweltering hot. And, life, we had many extinction events, but but life continued.
there he is.
We don't see the dinosaurs now, but they've had a good run for 100+ million years. So even if there's catastrophic climate change on Earth, life continues. It just may not be the life as we know it. It may not be humans, it'll be something else. So what we're talking about with climate change is not a threat to all life on Earth, but really maybe a threat to humans and dislocation of humans if there's low-lying countries that...
We're talking about climate change and stuff. I know people are saying, oh, it's Mother Earth and stuff like that, but really what we're talking about is our survival and the survival of the human race as it goes further, because most of us will be dead here probably before anything changes.
The water level rises and now they're underwater type of thing. So, I think one just needs to strike the right balance by saying, like, look, over time we need to move to a sustainable energy economy, and we can't just keep taking billions of tons of carbon from deep underground and putting it in the atmosphere and expect nothing will happen forever.
Yeah.
But we also don't need to be alarmist about it and super negative and massively disrupt people's lifestyles. I think people can continue to live a normal life.
Yes.
And they shouldn't be guilty about being human or sort of, frankly, having a stake. It's fine.
Yeah, something that strikes me with that agenda as well, and people who push it, is it also seems like Western countries climbing the ladder and then pulling the ladder up after them, right? So when you have large developing nations, somewhere like India, lots of parts of Africa and so on, and it's like, okay, the Western nations have gone through this whole process to even get to a stage where you can afford to care about such things. You've got other nations that are developing, and they're trying to get up to the level of prosperity that, say, the USA has right now. And you want them to care about the environment, but it's like, people are still poor. People are not going to care about the environment until they've got their basic needs met. So there's a part of it where it's this it's this sort of belief system that I think is very, what's the right term? It's almost like to use a Rob Henderson term, it's like a luxury belief, right? It's like, okay, it's all good for you to view things that way, but if you think about the average person in many parts of the developing world, they can't afford to be thinking this way. They still need to get up to at least the basic level
Water, heat,
that our countries are in.
shelter.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with what you just said, but I also think that
We make
the
up our own
cost
problems.
of sustainable energy has been dropping tremendously, and you're seeing a lot more wind and solar, and pair that with the battery, and you've got continuous power from wind and solar. That's actually very competitive. Like, it's so cost competitive. Actually, one of the nice things about, say, solar battery is you don't need to run high power lines all over the place. You can have some localized solar battery situation on your house or factory building, or you can kind of decentralize the power generation. And I think that's actually better for people to have decentralized power generation, and also decentralized communications. Like a lot of places, they skipped all the sort of phone landline stuff and went to cell phones.
Yes.
In fact, a lot of places in the world have way better cell connectivity than Silicon Valley, which is bizarre.
Yeah.
Warning.
Yep. Yeah. And why is that? It's because it's convoluted. There's too many things in there. It's hard to get through it. It's like, okay, so if you have if you have a giant parking garage and you're going to the mall and it's not busy at all, you can find a spot to park anywhere you want, right? It's so easy. You just park right there. But if it's congested and the mall's super busy, you might drive around for half hour to find a spot, Okay, so that's what happens with our cell towers. When we have a bunch of cell phones all over and stuff, we're all competing and we're all trying to find spots to get the signal and whatnot. So the more people congested in that area, the less likely you are to have good service. So if you have a cell tower that's strong and powerful, but less people using it, it's easier to find that parking spot and you'll be able to get a signal actually easier. So that's kind of, I think, what he's talking about. As far as a lot of that goes, that is my major premise. I'm a humanist. Some people are environmentalists. I am going to do what's best for human nature. I'm not saying disregard the environment. What I'm saying is there's certain people, and it's very arrogant for us to think otherwise, but there's certain people that rely on burning wood, burning gas and fuels, and producing fumes just to stay alive, because cold kills more people than heat, and water is a huge thing. So I just think we need to take that stuff into consideration before we demonize everything that is currently going on. So with that being said, I hope I earned your subscription, maybe a like, and the original video is in the description. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next video.